What is up, denizens of the internet? This is Sellout Podcast, and today we are going to be talking about a whole bunch of shit. We're probably going to be recording a multi-segment thing, so long as my mood is up to the task. I'm Adam Even, your host. Followed by
PJ.
What's your name?
PJ.
What's your name?
PJ Adder.
Alright, so, I'm a bit bummed out because if we're really going to be talking about wrestling, I've been put off wrestling. We are recording this February 5th, if you want to put a date on it. So we have a lot of,
catching up to do.
Not only do we have a lot of catching up to do, which is absolutely winding. We finally got more memory for our computer, which was stunting our growth as a podcast. We're in housekeeping without even having to say it. How great is that? We got ourselves a very, very nice storage thing.
Tower.
Tower. It looks like a really Honey I Shrunk the PlayStation 5.
It does.
And so we have a whole bunch of stuff to record because we're late. But we're still building out the portfolio. None of this is even posted. Mostly a proof of concept, these first few wings, but
still working out the kinks.
Still working out the kinks, and still, I don't know how it happened, but this will be talked about in some later episodes that we're hopefully gonna. I went from seeing this as a new golden age for wrestling to a couple days later, I don't even know if I want to watch wrestling anymore.
Yeah, it was like overnight.
I'm starting to think I picked the wrong topic to talk about for a podcast.
It has become more controversial overnight.
Yeah. I will say one thing. You leave The Rock's daughter alone. Stop sending death threats. We're better than this. All right? We didn't need to send death threats to get the S movement going. That is just right off the motherfucking back.
She's out there trying to make her own mark in the business. Mm-hmm. It's just not fair to her.
Oh, I think they know we're talking about it. Don't make it so that she has to go out there like Charlotte did to throw out Ric Flair. You're not going to like it, even if you're hating The Rock right now. But that's so much later. Because right now, what we're talking about is the 25th of January's Impact.
Yes.
It was, honestly, it's very interesting TNA right now. They finally go back to TNA, and it can't be further from the truth.
Well, I think they're building up to it again.
Yeah, I think that was my philosophy as well, is that they need to build care in the rivalries in their rosters. They got great moments when the fights happen, but nobody knows who anybody is, and they're rebuilding the characters. But let's just get this over with, and we can talk more about general wrestling.
Yeah.
This is your 5-day forecast for the 5th of January, all right? It opened up with a Snake Eyes video package. It was pretty cool. It's definitely really cool because it showed a lot of pay-per-view stuff, not as single shot images set to music.
Yeah, like someone else does.
Like WWE does. I'm not afraid to talk. No. Fucking WWE does that.
Well,
AEW does that.
It's not just WWE. A lot of companies do that.
A lot of companies, yeah. AML, I think, even does it, but that's probably a technology problem and not we're trying to limit viewership.
But it's nice when you want to catch up and you haven't seen some of the older stuff.
On that topic, by the way, a bunch of recent elderly pay-per-views just got uploaded to the TNA page.
Yeah, on YouTube.
On YouTube for free.
I think they had Surrender.
They had a
No Surrender.
Yeah,
2005.
No Surrender 2005.
Pay-per-view.
That had AJ Styles versus what's his name?
It had Sting on it. It had a bunch of people. It had Samoa Joe. So
like this is some of the people's favorite. These are the greats that they're releasing, and you think, oh, it's just the match, right? No, it's like the whole 2 hour and 50-minute pay-per-view.
Whole pay-per-view.
For free on their YouTube channel. And it's not like, oh, you're having to pay for it to get it like it's on YouTube TV. This is really, really, really up there just for you guys to watch. As a matter of fact, we recently set up a Patreon, I believe it's called. And so, for those of you who are interested, for free over on our Patreon, we're gonna link up those. We're
gonna put all the links to.
We're gonna put the links to those pay-per-views so that it's all in one spot. We'll even put it in
anything we can think of.
We'll even put it in chronological order for those peeps who really give a shit. All right. But, incentive to go over there and check out our Patreon. These episodes are going up on the YouTube right away, but there's going to be a point where for, how much did we set it for? $2?
I think it was $2.
For $2, you're going to get it a week early before the YouTubes and any other streaming service gets their hands on it. I'm currently looking into Spotify for those who are interested.
And we might also talk about, other, out off the wall brands, like maybe Smash Wrestling. That would be awesome.
Smash Wrestling,
they're an awesome promotion up in Canada.
We just gotta figure out how to watch that stuff. I would like to have Tokyo Big Battle with the big kaiju monsters.
And we were recently watching sumo wrestling.
Well, if you guys are interested in that,
so that was interesting. It was super entertaining.
Super entertaining. If you guys are interested in the sumo scene, we're more than willing to talk about it. Just drop a comment down into wherever it is, or you push a like, let us know. We also have a Twitter, Facebook. You can find us
pretty much there. Any major social media thing.
Those will be linked into the descriptus below. You just gotta clickety click down there. I'm pointing. Can you see me point? Anyway. Back to Snake Eyes, since we're marrying content creation and fucking housekeeping. This video package contained, in my personal opinion, damning proof that Walking Weapon defeated Will Ospreay.
It was such a good match. I don't know why people
be hating on this match.
I
wanted Will Ospreay to win. And somebody down in the comments section is going to bitch. And hey, please, for the love of God, generate that public interest by leaving a comment. It helps the algorithm. Bitch at me. And you know what? Sentence at a time, bitch at me in the comments below. I will not block any of your comments, I promise.
It means that they're tied. So we could get a third match.
Oh, we're not. It's not that we could get a third match.
We're gonna eventually get a third match.
Next major event for them. Their next tentpole is probably going to be part 4 of their part 3. Speaking of 3, we got some stuff coming. So the first was a men's single match with ABC and Kevin Knight. We don't know who Kevin Knight is, but it was Chris Bay versus Kevin Knight.
We're starting to learn who he's been on a couple of TNA shows now.
But the favorite to win is ABC.
Of course. We're starting to really get behind them.
It went without saying in an audience reaction that Chris Bay was the hometown hero.
Oh yeah. I think he had pretty much everyone in that arena saying his name at one point.
They were both faces, so there was a show of respect, followed by Kevin Knight being super fast and super strong.
Well, he's called the Jet.
He's called the Jet?
He's called the Jet.
Oh my gosh, I don't have this in my notes. So you do know who, there's no reason for the question mark. You know who Kevin Knight is.
They said it.
They said Kevin the Jet Knight?
Well, they said he was called the Jet.
The Jet! Kevin Knight! Anyway, so yeah, he really is proving.
He's one to look out for.
He's one to look out for the X Division.
Yeah.
Which, as Sabin said, is the heart and soul of, or was it? Who was it? Was it Sabin?
Yeah, it was Sabin.
Sabin said that it's the heart and soul
of TNA.
Of TNA,
which is true.
And I put duh. Oh, that Chris Bay won. Duh.
Yeah.
I mean, it went without saying. He was showing off.
It was a good match.
Knight was showing off, but it was a stomping.
Yeah.
By Chris Bay. Yeah, it was obvious. Grizzled Young Vets attack on ABC.
Then Santino came out and made
holding tag titles, and then on the next page, Santino came out announcing that
a best of 3 series between ABC and Grizzled Young Vets.
Yeah. Then we did Ash by Elegance, putting the silly and silicone in a video package.
It's basically a fragrance ad. I don't understand it.
I thought we were past the hair model era of wrestling, which is so upsetting because, I mean, considering she was the total diva back in WWE.
She was awesome. She was doing, cartwheel back handspring
She was awesome until she became Charlotte's bitch.
And, I didn't even recognize her at first when she first, and then they said her name in WWE. I was like, seriously? That's who that is?
Kaz came out.
Yeah.
He was ready to explain himself. But he explained himself with the standard, I don't need to explain myself to you. I think he even later goes on to say something along the lines of, you have my permission
to hate me.
To hate me.
Yeah.
And I don't go for it. It's boring. He's got a
typical heel.
He's a typical black jacket heel, and it's so
and he looks like Chris Jericho.
He does.
He's dressing like Chris Jericho.
Down to the polo shirt that looks like it's tiger print. I figured he was going to pop out with a rendition of Judas in My Mind while wearing a Shorty G mask.
It does look like Shorty G on top and then freaking Chris Jericho from the neck down.
Well, we all know that Alpha Academy is always on top, alright? So Rich Swann is questioning what is going on with Kaz. Just inviting whatever the heel version of character growth is.
And then freaking Top Dollar comes over and tries to
recruit Rich Swann, which is interesting, but Rich Swann, he's not awesome, but he's a singles competitor.
Yeah, and he's nothing to do with it.
Nope, he doesn't want it. They're trying to tell Hurt Business and TNA. It is. That's all it is.
Speaking of Hurt Business.
There's a lot going on with Hurt Business. We're even less talking about WWE. It'll happen every once in a while because we do watch it, but don't expect too much.
All of the freaking updates on Twitter and no, not Twitter. My bad. X. So confusing.
It's always gonna. It's like that. Like our local restaurant. They say it may be called Toucan Tacos, but it'll always be Tippies to me.
Like X will always be Twitter.
Yeah, X is always going to be Twitter. If you're ever in the Laurel area, check out Toucan Tacos.
Manassas.
I guess if you want to do change the mom and pop that I shouted out to a motherfucking chain.
You know their tacos.
Their tacos are pretty good, but I didn't want to shout out what is equivalent to a McDonald's.
Fine.
Dirty Dango versus Dante King. It was Dirty Dango and Oleg
versus local competitors, basically.
Dante King and Damian Drake jobbers? Question mark.
Yeah, and then Oleg was in the match the entire time, except for at the end. But Dirty Dango sat up in a chair on the entrance ramp on his phone for pretty much the entire match. It says
Dango's sitting in a folding chair, checking his texts while Oleg kills.
Yeah. I mean, at one point, Oleg throws the competitor, or one of the local competitors out. I can't remember.
They're jobbers. They're jobbers. They're enhancement talent.
Throw him out on the onto the entrance ramp, and Dirty Dango's just giving him thumbs up, saying, "You're doing great. You're doing great." And Oleg just starts smiling, and then just tosses him back in the ring.
Then Dango tags in while still on the phone and wins.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Santino stops fight with ABC and Grizzled Young Vets. So it was a backstage thing. And he stops the fight and declares a best of 3 for the titles how often do they do best of threes for the titles?
Not enough.
Not enough. There's so many
good.
Yeah. There's so many cool ways to go about it with things like that, like title defenses and whatnot. It's actually very inspiring to me. As somebody who's trying to break into the business, there are so many ways if I get my hand or I'm in a title scene. Because it stretches out your title bout as well.
Yeah.
And especially if you've got no people that are either ready or are interested in whatever title's being fought over, and you got that one number one contender that is interested in it, you can stretch that out to a best of three.
You can have it so it'll build up the momentum till the very end.
Put a star next to that. I don't know why. Maybe I was bored. Okada seemingly aligning with MGM.
Guns.
Oh, MCM, Motor City Machine Guns. I mean, the least surprising thing is going to be the next episode when we talk about the with who didn't show up, motherfucker. Pay attention to TNA, all right? Knockouts title rematch. Trinity versus Jordan the EST Grace.
Yeah.
All right. Y'all already know what this is about and where this is going. Y'all watched the Royal Rumble, one of the most watched things on TV that day.
Yeah.
Bailed neckbreaker into a fader bomb. That happened. It's been a while since we watched this, folks.
We're trying our best.
Real drag out brawl. I mean, they really wanted to make sure that whatever was going to happen with this title defense, it was damning proof that this was what was supposed to happen. Grace has ref start the count Trinity out. Trinity surprises Grace. Seesaw pin.
Oh yeah, they kept doing it back and forth, remember?
Exchanges.
Rolling back and forth.
Cheeky Grace W. I don't remember what she did, but it was awesome.
I think she, remember Trinity was going for her submission and she rolled her up into a pin?
That's right. She rolled up Trinity while Trinity had her submission locked. So she was still hurting, but she hurt just long enough to get the W.
Yep.
Grace retains. Show of respect.
Giselle
Shaw attack. Just to try and be like, haha, Trinity lost. Now I'm the one contender. I am the video game. I'm the one who wins. Shayna Evans, AML kid.
Savannah Evans.
Yeah,
we've seen her a couple times in AML. She originally...
Oh, yes.
And she got picked up by TNA.
It was super duper early in our hanging out with them.
Yeah.
That I don't think...
Popular.
I don't think that... Well, I'm getting texts from the D&D group. They're like, we'll be playing this week. I should tell them that I'm interested in running a game. It was before we were able to really talking with
Yeah, we weren't
people.
really in that scene yet.
Not yet.
We were on the outside.
The men's action, Nick Nemeth versus Zachary Wentz.
Of the Rascals.
Rascals, kind of cool.
Yeah.
They got some really... The tag team division is locked.
Oh, it's so good.
I don't think they need any more. I don't think they need any less. It is the perfect amount of tag. It's Nick's debut.
Yep.
Oh boy. Even with the ramp coming to the ring, he still enters the ring from the side.
With his freaking Dolph Ziggler entrance, yeah.
Yeah, he entered with the Ziggler entrance. Hard cam side where he does the thing where he goes in and then he comes back out and he does the arm pump, you know. Oh my gosh. So much for the knick-knack. They straight up called that move the danger zone.
Yeah.
I still think that what was one of the later episodes, they called it the zigzag. I don't know if it was on purpose or by mistake, but...
They probably called it that when he first debuted at Hard to Kill. When he hit it.
It was later.
Then I don't remember.
It was, yeah.
It was probably at Snake Eyes then.
They called it the danger zone, which might be a hint at another person showing up at TNA.
That would be cool.
Huh? He's taking bookings. Everybody, he's taking AML, are you listening?
It's not a game anymore.
Are you listening? Who are we talking about?
The Chris Danger.
There you go. Thank you for making me look good.
I tried.
Who are we talking about?
Chris Danger.
Chris Danger, he's taking bookings.
You are the. He is just the.
Yeah, I am A-K-H-E, Brian Kent. No, he is the dangerous Chris Danger. And he can bring a lot to your roster, AML. I'm telling you, look him up. He is star power for the next WrestleCade. I'm telling you, look him up. If you don't know about him now, you know. Crazy Steve promo / Rhino interrupts.
Yeah, he had this whole creepy promo going on, then Rhino comes in and tries to intimidate him, and the music just drops, and he just starts looking intimidated.
Yeah.
And then as soon as Rhino leaves, it goes back to this creepy little...
it's a little effect. It didn't mess with him. He's insane.
It just went like a little interlude while Rhino started talking, and then when
he's
he left...
legally blind and legally insane.
Yeah.
And
he is our digital media champion.
He's our digital media champion, and I'll never forget the time I walked away from a legally blind person without saying goodbye. That sits with me. You ever have those moments, you're taking a shower and the cold sweat rushes over you anyway, and you realize you fucked up like 2 years ago? Me! Point is, he'll never know my face. Ha ha!
But he'll know your voice.
That's okay. I'll do it. I'm a voice actor. I can do other voices. Decay promo equal good. It was just good.
It was awesome.
It was just good.
It was in like this black and white chapel.
It was like a church, a crazy church.
Like that doodle cafe that they have.
Yeah, like that man who decided to draw all over his walls. We don't know him, but that is the Chris Danger for your next booking, okay?
Just random plugs.
Hey, Chris Danger can draw on your wall.
I'm sure he
We are currently not being paid by the Chris Danger to book him.
We are currently not being paid by anyone.
We are not being paid by anyone. Except for you, if you come to our Patreon and you check us out. You'll get week early videos. Hey, I'm working on them. These guys are getting uploaded right away. But the stuff, there's going to become a time where you're going to see a content drought and you will know where to find it because the well goes deep over on our Patreon, okay? We want to do this full time. I got wrestling dreams to pay for. Do you want to help with that? You want to stick your little flag in my career and say, hey, they wouldn't have made it if it were not for me? Well, this is the closest you're ever going to get to that because I don't normally let my guard down like, hey, I'll take your money.
Stitched inside of his gear.
That's right. Do you want my name to be sewed on the crotch of my pants? I'll do it. I'll do it for $2 a month.
Rent ad space on junk.
Tag action. Dana Lund? I don't know her name.
Luna.
Dana Luna and Jody Threat versus MK Ultra, Nasha Slamovich, and Killer Kelly.
I like their entrance.
It's cool. I can see why they had their
championship run?
Yeah. I'm looking at the waveforms, and God, I'm gonna need to super compress the shit out of this.
What does that mean?
I'll turn this up.
Okay.
We're still working out the kinks, especially
Yes.
on a weekly basis.
I am not professional.
Bitch, please. I've been doing this for years. I just haven't done it in a... Motor City Machine Guns and Okada versus The System. And it's a
typical TNA match.
Classic Motor City Machine Gun. Your handwriting is fancy. I can't read it.
You mean legible?
Illegible is what I was trying to get across.
Well,
it's so swooshy.
Swooshy?
Oh! Fuck the system. That's what the last part said.
Yeah, that was what the crowd was
You can't
chanting.
even write a curse word.
I don't curse.
Even in writing?
No.
Her handwriting doesn't curse. What a saint. Fuck the system. Chance. They didn't like what happened. Even though MCM and Okada won that match.
Yeah, there was a lot of highly paced action. It was just nonstop, especially on one-sided.
Yeah, well, that's because the system's kind of
They're a new team.
They're a new team, and they're glass cannony right now. They if they hit you, it hurts. But they got to be able to touch you, which is just not what was going to happen with Motor City Machine Guns and Okada. A sweet, sweet Rainmaker, though. They really dragged out whether or not he was going to hit that Rainmaker.
Yeah, he tried to hit it a couple in the last one.
We'll throw this one in for you. That was the end of the show, with "Fuck the System" being chanted as it faded out. Explosion 1, men's action. Rhino versus She-Ra. Rhino won. Gotta love the old-fashioned 3-drop ref test. I like that. That's one of my favorite old school things, is when they're passing out in a move and the arm drops down, they test it 3 times. Most of the time, WWE will just be like, 1, it's over! Ring the bell! You know, but...
Well, that and you like the trading of blows.
I do like a trading of blows, coming to a 2K24 near you, by the way. Super excited about. Rhino wins first explosion in 3 years. This was the first ever explosion in 3 years. Think of it as SmackDown. No, not SmackDown. No, not SmackDown. Superstars.
Yeah, Superstars.
Think of it like Superstars. It was
basically a recap show.
Rich Swann versus Joe Hendry.
I do like Joe Hendry.
Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry. Personally, I believe in Joe Hendry. I do. I really do. Because he beat the shit out of Rich Swann. There's a lot missing from these notes because realistically, it's stuff we've already talked about on this podcast.
Yeah, it was mostly a recap show.
They really did, like when they stopped doing Superstars, it was because they started doing This Week in WWE, which was just anything that happened throughout the entire week of WWE, they talked about and they showed clips from.
And the bump. They started doing the bump.
The bump really is if you're watching, if you miss a week of WWE, you don't have to watch it.
You just gotta watch the bump.
You just gotta watch the bump. They'll talk about literally every single thingy majigger that's going on.
And they'll have people on there talking.
Yeah. So,
but yeah, definitely check out YouTube.
Joe is a bro. Bro.
But yeah, check out TNA's YouTube channel. There's a lot of content on there.
That's it. That's the end of... You guys got yourself a 2-parter because we're not watching Explosion anymore.
It was like... Remember when we just started watching the old Raws? And then we watched an old Superstars? Mm-mm. It was like that.
It was bad.
Yeah.
It really was just a recap. The one thing that's really cool is that where Superstars did a recap of a match that happened in the previous week as well as the recap, this was new fights.
Yeah, there was new fights on it.
So, I mean, if you're interested in seeing the equivalent of indie matches, so be it. You could also check out IWTV. They got a lot of cool stuff, and hopefully we'll get to come to IWTV. How fucking cool would that be? Not for children. Hee hee hee. Yeah. So is there anything else you want to talk about? Because we just got
do you want to talk about current stuff in the world?
Not really. I figured that would happen after the Royal Rumble.
Okay.
Because we got the notes for the Royal Rumble right here. Afterthought notes of stuff that I picked up along the way as we waited for TNA 2-1. And that's the last thing we watched, because I've been avoiding WWE pretty religiously. I don't even watch their YouTube. Because I don't...
Pretty much the only thing we actually see is, like I said, through X.
X and TikTok.
Yeah.
If you guys are really into that, I mean, watch away. I'm not knocking those of you who like this sort of stuff. It's just that... It's fun to talk about when it's going well, and it was going well for a bit there. But there's just a lot currently going on in the business that, one, I really don't want to talk about, and two, it's depressing and I don't want to talk about it.
I mean, we're starting to watch old TNA. We might start talking about...
I'll tell you what. We'll tell you every single time Jeff Jarrett hits somebody with a guitar.
The very beginning of TNA is very slow.
Super.
So once we get into the more modern stuff, like early 2000s, it'll get better.
I mean, I'm always taking notes for funny jokes to put in, and if there's something that's really, hey, did you see what happened when such and such did a thingy-meemy and a booty-boo?
It's not very often when you see
Tobey Maguire?
Toby Keith. TNA, remember?
Tiki Toby, the creepypasta?
Toby Keith. Country star.
I don't know a lot of Tobys. Keith Tobias? Richard Toby? If there's Richard Tobys out there, don't forget to leave a like, alright?
Or Bort.
Bort? Toby Keith? Okay. I wonder if Toby Keith has a keychain at a...
Maybe.
I don't think there's much else that we can talk about. This is a super short one that we really slammed together because I just had to get one of these done. It's
been a little while.
It's been a while. It's time to slam these bad boys together. Hey, if
and
you
we
guys
finally have enough memory on our computer to do something.
To do it, yeah. Oh, plenty. We have all of the notes for
Royal Rumble.
The Royal Rumble, which will be the next episode that you guys see by. Which, mere seconds, maybe minutes for us. But a nice long stretch for you, depending on how long you wait between watching video. And if the answer is not immediately, you guys should probably go to our Patreon and deliver us reparations for avoiding our content, all right? You watch this stuff the second it drops, or you go to our Patreon and you pay $2 to see it immediately.
Even if it's just because of the bathroom break.
That's right. Every time you go to the bathroom, you deliver $2 to Sell Out Podcast, all right? That's what it is. That's how we do.
Bathroom tax.
That's not a joke. That's a fact of life. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think we can top that. I think that we're done here.
Okay.
Hey, guys. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe. Hey, I don't care if you click the bell. Just check in, all right? We worry about you.
And if you go to the bathroom, don't forget to leave.
Yeah, leave $2 on the toilet seat and the poop fairy.
And it'll have a Christmas hat on.
Howdy ho! Nah, but seriously, we got a whole bunch of social medias linked down below. Just, hey, if you use it, follow us on it. I mean, we're trying to get up there in the world, and this is kind of the future housing of future wrestlers' careers. So if you want to get in on the ground floor, be one of the birds. We'll talk back. We'll leave likes. We'll goof off with great gusto at all your funny jokes, even if they're not.
Yes.
We're
very
but yeah,
good at
if you see one down there, if you don't see what you use regularly, leave us a message. Leave us a message saying, hey, you don't have this social media yet. Why don't you get this social media? Guess what will happen pretty much immediately? We'll be on that social media so long as it's not porn. All right?
Or OnlyFans.
Or OnlyFans. Both apps are banned in the state of North Carolina currently. Speak with your state official about that. What is going to happen if Ash by Elegance happens to come to North Carolina? Are they just going to ban her? She's just going to be a walking censor bar.
We could always get her to sign some perfume.
I heard sign some gel inserts.
Sure. I'm sure she would love to do that.
Good night, everybody!
Or some chicken cutlets.